What about managing inventory? I mean, with so many pieces that you read right now about all the stores kind of struggling with like too much inventory, kind of got them in trouble. Like, how does Five Below think about keeping track of that in a way where they don't have too much?
Great question. Inventory management is probably one of the critical kind of focus areas for us for obvious reasons, not just from an inventory, but just given the amount of volume that we need to push through, even capacity. When we had the port delays out here on the West Coast, just kind of figuring out what was kind of stuck where, like for us, it was really impactful. And so there's just a lot of forecasting kind of planning discipline that we have as a company to kind of just understand what's coming in. The good thing is the product tends to be not super perishable. We do have Easter and we do have some of these other hallmark holidays that we participate in, but it's a smaller percentage of our total sales. And so we're able to kind of manage just a little bit of the perishability of the inventory that way. But just from a forecasting perspective, the teams are looking at that stuff on a weekly basis and just making sure that we have just the right amount. And that's really, really hard. And we're just gotten really good at that over the years.
Yeah. After all those delays, were there any shifts that you made when it came to the supply chain or where you're ordering things from? Or was that kind of like a one-time blip that you're like, keep going on as we always have?
I would say that the biggest shift for us actually came prior to the pandemic with the kind of tariff wars with China. That really kind of forced us to diversify our supply base away from China. And since then, since we're growing so rapidly, quite frankly, it's just been more about securing capacity. And so for us, it's been about finding the right partners in the logistics space and signing kind of longer term deals that guarantee a certain amount of capacity for the brand that allows us to make sure that we have room on containers and ships and airplanes on occasion to kind of get the stuff over here to the US.
One thing I was reading about was I think it's 2-hour delivery that Five Below started offering. Is that, or is it one day?
We can do same day with a partnership through Instacart. Yeah.
Okay, got it. So the one thing I was thinking a bit about is when you start offering that same day delivery of lower price items, is there any worry where it starts to feel like you're competing with Amazon in a way and that you have to kind of keep up with them? Or do you feel like there's so much brand love to Five Below that you don't really have to worry about your customers kind of being like, I'll just hop over to Amazon and get this cheap thing?
I think everybody's competing with Amazon, whether they want to admit it or not. 50% of all searches, I think if it's not more than that these days, kind of start on Amazon when people are looking for product. So I think it's inevitable that they're going to be in the consumer's headspace. I think for us that the differentiation is that merchandising point of view that we have. And so we don't have everything. We have what we believe is a curated assortment of the best things that really kind of strike that right value and distorted value proposition for the consumer. And so for us, it being also a safe space where we're not dealing with products that you might not want your kids kind of exposed to. It's an easy place for me to kind of put my 5-year-old in front of an iPad and just have her kind of scroll and pick out a couple of things that she wants. And so I think there's just a little bit just in terms of the brand has positioned itself from purity of concept and really understanding who our core customers are. That allows that merchandising framework just to be really, really sharp. And I think that's what's really kind of differentiating us. On the service side, we're not going to out Amazon. And so for us, I think we need to be credible and be somewhat consistent with where the marketplace is, but we don't necessarily have to be the fastest or the cheapest.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Was there any trickiness involved when trying to offer that same day delivery, just because I'm sure the margins are already pretty tight on lower priced items? And I've heard, we've had a few guests come on. One was the CEO of Fast AF, and his whole thing was, you can't afford to do this unless you have more premium products. But obviously you can if you use a partner. So what did that look like when strategizing? Should we offer same day, and how do we make this work financially?
Yeah, at first it was quite frankly a defensive tactic. And so we signed the partnership kind of during the pandemic when everybody's worried about, at the time, a second wave. And so nobody knew what was going to happen kind of during the holiday season. And so we wanted to make sure that we had a little bit of a backstop in case our stores were shut down again to continue to provide access to the brand to consumers. On the financial side, for us, I think the relationships that we have with Instacart was great. We're able to do it in a way that's still more profitable than other fulfillment methods that we have within our arsenal. And for us, it also allowed us to kind of get on this journey and this roadmap, which will kind of culminate here in a couple of weeks, which is exposing all of the store inventory to our various different systems, which then allows us to do things like curbside and ship from store, which for us is a strategic imperative. Just like if you can take 100% of the fulfillment equation out of it from a cost perspective and have the consumer come and pick it up, obviously that's the most impactful thing that you can have from a P&L perspective on the fulfillment side. And so it was kind of the first step on this multi-pronged journey that we had kind of laid out. And then I think the other piece is when you think about the economics, like any singular order might be profitable, might not be profitable. But again, if you're creating that longer term relationship with the consumer, we believe that net, at the end of the day, we're still going to be better off if they're coming to us versus coming to Amazon or going to Target or Walmart or any of the other choices that a consumer might have in front of them. And so again, going back to that convenience and really putting the consumer at the center of everything that we're doing and allowing them to kind of make the choice that's best for them on that particular occasion, for us, just made economic sense in the long term.
Hey, thanks for watching. This segment was made possible by our friends at Salesforce Commerce Cloud. If you're looking for the #1 platform for all your commerce needs, go check out salesforce.com/commerce. And don't forget to subscribe below and tap that little bell icon so you can stay on top of all the amazing new segments and full episodes that we'll be putting out over the coming year with some of the best and most influential commerce leaders out there.